Hey y'all, it's me Trish. I am the Witch of the Dismal Swamp. How's everybody doing today? Alright. I'm going to try to be as brief as I can, but y'all know me, right? Yeah, I'm going to read y'all something out of this book I found interesting and I wanted to share it with everybody. If y'all have this book, could you please let me know? And, what I do read here, what is your opinions on it? Tell me what y'all think, okay? That's the reason why I wanted to read this, because I want to hear what y'all got to say. Okay? This is a chapter. I'm not going to start at the beginning of the chapter. The Power and the Sight. Okay? And I'm going to the second part of the chapter. Reality is energy is the part I wanted to start at. Now, I thought about reading the first half of it, but it's quite a bit of reading. And I don't know if y'all want to hang in there long enough to read all this. Because it goes from this page, and then these two pages, all the way to half of this one. So I said, well, let me just go to the next one. And that's why I'm starting there. Okay, reality is energy. We're getting ready to have thunderstorms. So if y'all hear thunder in the background, that's what it is. Well, duh. Just thought about what I said. Of course, if you hear it, it's whatever. All right, let's start. Reality is composed entirely of energy. Mystics, psychics, witches, and other practitioners of magic have always known this truth. This isn't just a mystical perspective. It's also the nature of physics. Everything that seems solid is merely energy vibrating at a slower rate. When we examine it on a microscopic level, we find that solid matter is made of particles perpetually in motion. That's interesting, isn't it? So everything that we think is solid is actually particles in motion. Okay? All right. Even this book you're holding is just energy. Everything we can touch, hear, see, taste, and smell is simply energy in different forms being perceived by our senses. But energy is not limited to what we can measure with our senses. I'm trying to, I hope y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me? I know I did a video before this one and it sounded like I was in a fishbowl. I'm hoping y'all can hear me. All right, let's continue. There's energy that exceeds our normal five senses. Those who are more skeptical will often say things such as seeing is believing, or may scoff at the idea of unseen energy. Yet it only takes a quick look around us to understand that we cannot perceive or see all the energy that is around us, which is true. Magnetic fields and radiation are examples of energies that we're constantly interacting with that are invisible to our eyes, as are wireless signals and ultraviolet lights. Our perception also differs from that of other animals who experience reality on a different level. Animals perceive energetic information that would be supernatural if a human were to naturally sense in the same way. There are animals and insects that can perceive a much broader spectrum of light and color than humans. There are also frequencies of sound, which is an energy, too, inaudible to human beings that other animals can hear. While we can hear a wide spectrum of sound waves, we cannot hear them all. That's true. The noise coming from a dog whistle is energy that our bodies are not equipped to perceive, yet dogs most definitely can hear it. There's also a bombardment of radio waves that we're interacting with that cannot be heard without using a device to tune into the specific frequency. You know, kind of like a, if you turn on your radio, you gotta turn the knob to find the right channel. Tune into that frequency. Seemingly psychic to the human, dogs can be trained to smell cancer on someone. There are even energies that are experienced completely differently by some animals. Dolphins and bats can use sound through echolocation and experience it as a form of sight. That's true. Migratory birds have a perception of the magnetic field and about the weather that informs their migration, and that is still a bit of a mystery to the scientist. But why? Evolution has wired humans and animals to scan the environment for information that is vital for survival. In other words, we have evolved so that our perception is directly related to what we need to know to survive. That's true. You know, if it's cold outside, you need to put a coat on, right? Our senses, as we perceive them as merely meant to help us survive daily existence so that our species can continue living in a physical reality. Forms of perception that are not considered important to survival in a species will be abandoned as evolution proceeds in favor of developing senses that do. Furthermore, we live in a society that has a strong focus on the real world, parentheses, with an emphasis on what we can perceive. This often leads to a suppression of any senses beyond the 5 physical ones. Yet they aren't gone, they're still here. Have you ever thought of someone you haven't communicated with in a long time and suddenly they call or text you? Has that happened to y'all? You was thinking about this person you haven't heard from in the coon's age, and next thing you know you get a call or a text? That's happened to me. Have you ever had a gut feeling about someone or a situation that turned out to be correct? That's happened to me more than I can shake a stick at. And some of the times I didn't like it. Have you experienced deja vu? Or had a dream that came to pass? No, I dreamed some weird shit. I ain't gonna lie. I don't even understand half of my dreams. Almost everybody has had moments. I'm sorry, y'all. It just made me think of the last dream I remembered. Oh my gosh, it was so crazy. I really would love to tell y'all about this dream because I don't understand it. I don't understand why I dreamed this. But anyway, I'll continue. That was a squirrel, y'all. Alright, have you ever experienced deja vu or had a dream to come to pass? Almost everybody has had moments when these other senses have suddenly opened up. Even if it's short-lived, we still have a whole system of perception that has only gone dormant in our species, but it's still there waiting to be reawakened. That's the key word there, reawakened. This also carries through when it comes to a psychic perception of subtle energy. Oh, if they're talking about like when you walk into a room, you could just feel that, you know. I'm wondering if that's what she's talking about here. Let's continue and let's see. Subtle energies are energies that aren't necessarily measurable or detectable to our senses or through science. We often have had a hard time understanding a lot of the energy that we received as information simply because we're not programmed to understand it. Okay. We do not have a very precise way to describe energy as we perceive it. as our vocabulary, for it's very underdeveloped. For example, until a child learns about the concept of green as a word, so in other words, they know what the word green is, they may have a hard time discerning it from other colors. They also have a difficult time distinguishing colors that have similar hues. Once the child learns a larger vocabulary for the colors they see, they can not only name them but discern and differentiate forest green from lime green. When it comes to energy perception, our words are not as accurate as they are for other senses we perceive until we learn a vocabulary for different energies. This is true also for the perception of our senses like taste and smell. If you think about it, think about how wine connoisseurs describe complex tastes such as wine. They'll use words like earthy, fruity, buttery, toasty, flamboyant, sharp, oaky, charcoal, velvety, etc. This is because the mind can't find precise words in our language for what it's experiencing, so it tries to reference words that somehow describe the quality of what is on the palate as well as it can. We simply lack the language for it. Yet, to the average person, wine may not seem so complex. The same holds true for those who are musicians. They hear music differently because they understand the subtle changes of pitches, keys, harmonies, and melodies. Thus, they have an easier time talking about music since they have the vocabulary for it. That's true. The same is true with subtle energy. Sorry about the squeak. My Great Dane, Zeus, he's in there playing with the squeaky toy. The precision of discerning and describing energies is what makes someone an effective psychic witch. The psychic witch, all subtle energy is form of... To the psychic witch, all subtle energy is a form of information. We receive energetic information that informs us about other people, events, situations in our world around us. It allows us to have better judgment and ensure that we're on the right path. We can also conjure and manipulate energetic information and send it out into our world to actively affect those paths and their outcomes. Now, that's the end of that particular part of this chapter. The next chapter is brainwave states. Now, that one is the one that I wanted to really share with y'all. But before I shared that, I had to read this so that you get what they're trying to say here. And this one right here is pretty interesting. Brainwave states. Okay. That one I want to read next. But if y'all don't want me to, just say so. You're not going to hurt my feelings, y'all. And if you do want me to read it, I will do a video on the brainwave states. Which this one is pretty interesting. It's not as long of a read as the one I just read. And again, I apologize for my dog squeaking. Zeus. He likes to play with them squeakies. As you can tell. He's as crazy as his mama, right? Well, anyway, y'all let me know what you think. Tell me if y'all are enjoying this or if you want to learn more about it. Just let me know. Y'all know I will get back with y'all. You know, if I can read something and share that knowledge and share the information out there, then hey, that's what I'm all about. Learning and sharing, right? That's why I'm doing this. You know, if you have this book, y'all, can you let me know that you have this book? And tell me what you think about it. Do y'all like this book? And what's your opinion on it? But this right here is the book. But y'all let me know. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good day. I send y'all so damn much love. And I want you all to be safe out there. He's getting crazy. It's time for me to end it. I send y'all lots of love. Toodles, y'all.